Might be getting old, but spring is in the air. I've got to kill two birds with one stone, so I thought, where could we go where I could get on with my work for one more cast? Got to be on the laptop, got to be dealing with packaging, got to be dealing with supply coming into the country. It's absolute mayhem. And we've also got to do product launch content, which means going fishing. So the perfect balance. You've got the lodge behind you, and while we're here, because this type of fishing has become so popular now with the staycations in the country, I want to show you actually how I would approach basically turning up into a lodge. This is your lodge, this is your swim, this is the water you've got at your disposal, and just try to do the best from it. I've never fished in this particular swim. I've been here once before. I fished in a lodge in the corner, and I ended up going and fishing the championship lake, caught a lovely, lovely scaly mirror. I was here with a family, my in-laws, my parents, my wife, the dogs, absolutely brilliant. But this time I feel like we're in a good plot, and wow, look at that sun. You just could, you know, this is, if you're gonna work from home, do your work and fish at the same time, well, this is paradise, isn't it? There we go, let's get the weapons of choice out. Well, here we go. This is one of the rigs I'm going to start with. I've got two, I'll show you both of them. This is the D rig. It's got the blend fluorocarbon, which I've agonisingly worked on with Mike for a long time. You've got the Bloodliner aligner kicker. You've got a size 4 Colne Valley hook. And then have a look at that. That is a product we're working on alongside Enterprise, who you know for their plastic hook baits. That is basically a piece of plastic maize with a cavity in it, and I've just punched in a little bit of paste, and as the water's still cold, that little bit of extra solubility is perfect. And I've just tipped it with a quad, a mainline quad there that's been soaked in a range of isotonic, pineapple supreme and orange supreme goos. So you've got a lot of flavour, you've got the paste coming out, you've got about 8.5 inches there, and it just comes up to our lead clip, just a one more cast Vita Bits lead clip. It's a pin lead clip. We've got a more complex one coming out in the range in the future. You've got a short tungsten anti-tangle sleeve, that's the blend one, 30mm, and that's it. And then you've got the blend tungsten tubing going off in the brown. So dead simple, really, really good. I know it doesn't tangle, I know it resets, and it's a wafter, so it's going to sit over bait and be perfect. And you can see here, I'm not going to cast to start with because I've got the bait boat. I want to get the rods out nice and quickly. I've got the arrow lead on there, which is, for all intents and purposes, the best casting lead you're ever going to see. But there's another reason, because I can wrap that with a bit of paste, and the actual flights on it will take hold of the paste. And the other thing is the coating. Because the coating's got a texture on the lead, it grips paste or ground bait really well. So not only is it an amazing casting lead, it doubles up as a method feeder, which is brilliant. Now for the next one. Now, what spring session is complete without a pop-up rig on the spot? So this is going out there as well. This is the world famous spinner or Ronnie rig, made all out of one more cast components again. The most notable one that I want to mention here is the actual coated braid. This is the blend coated braid, one that we've really worked on, basically getting what we think is the best coated braid out there. You will never have felt anything as smooth and as nice as this. It knots a dream. It really is hardy, available in 3 breaking strains, 18, 25 and 35. I'm actually using the 35 pound. I know it might sound excessive, but I'm using it for the presentation, not for the breaking strain. Relatively, obviously, it will have more fibres through it, it's thicker, and it will reset beautifully when you coupled it with that 50mm tungsten anti-tangle sleeve in our blend range. And then if I work up to the hook, here you've got the spinner ring swivel, and then you've got another of the Bloodliner family, but this time you've got the intern Bloodliner. So that's on there. You've got size 4 Colne Valley hook, you've got our micro ring swivel, and then this is the most notable item. It might look little, but it's taken a lot of work to perfect. This is our long distance hook bead. Hook beads have been the bane of my life, I would say, for 10, 12 years. Ever since they came out, really. They end up sort of moving around the hook. They don't hold on very well. They're not the best things, you know, they're not hardy. So we've developed one with a lovely amount of material there, rubber, whatever you want to call it, that will stay on, won't move that easily, and it's very, very resilient for numerous casts, and even if you sort of crush the barb and take it on and off hook. So it's a brilliant, brilliant little setup there. It's just coupled with the pin leg clip, tail rubber, and then you've got the blend tungsten tube in there in brown. A mixture of colours I've got there, mainly because I'm still fishing out sample bags. So there you go, 2 setups, D-rig on 2 rods, and then the spinner rig on 1, and then we just see how we go, because that's what, you know, fishing a new lake's all about. You discover yourself through the session, the fish tell you what's working, and you adjust accordingly. So they're the rigs, time to mix some bait, and then time to pick some spots. Right, so this is the bait. I've just mixed it up. When I'm using worms, I always cut them as I go, chop them. You don't want to do them too much in advance, because basically you're cutting them, they're going to turn. So do them nice and fresh as you need them. So I've chopped enough for sort of 3 rods worth of dendrobinas. I always get them from Willie's Worms. They come to your door, zero aggro, they're top quality, always serve me really well. To that, I've then added some response pellets, some cell response pellet, then a tin of the old Jolly Green in there, the golden grain, and then we've got some IsoSweet crumb. So I've added that in there as well, giving the whole lot of mix, along, I forgot to say as well, some hemp. So I've got some nice, if you like, fresh hemp that's been frozen from carp particles. It's all in there. It's lovely jubbly, if you like, all mixed together. And then if you can see in the hopper there, I've put a few 10mm cell at the top, which I'll lay my hook bait on top of. And then you've got some IsoSweet 14mm as well. There's probably 10 of them in there, and literally 1 handful and a bit of the mix. So I'm just trying to get a bite. It's springtime, it's about getting a bite. I'm not going to go lording it in straight away. Fish are jumping in like 10 yards out, fish are jumping out. It's looking good. It's looking good, I'm salivating. So that is it, that's us. We're going to get the first rod out. Right. Let's have a look, let's see how we go. It's looking good though. Fish have become really active. That sun seems to have turned them on, to be fair. That is not a carp. Don't think it's a carp. Might be, might turn into one. It was quick, it's kiting, so it might turn into a carp. But I had that, my only word of caught, yeah, this can't be a bream. Oh no, it is a carp. It is a cyprinid, we like it. That's a nice early start. My only concern with using the worms and stuff is that it might bring in the bream, but well, this is the D-rig I showed you. The only difference with this one is that it's got a white, diamond white wafter on it, a small one, in buttercorn and wonderberry goo, which pretty much works everywhere. Oh, it's a nice comment, that. Oh, that'll do for starter. Here we go. One in the bin. Early doors. Bosh. There we go. Off the mark really quickly. Little Wood Lakes mid-double. Proper common. Lovely old thing. Good start. Good confidence booster. Here we go, fish number 2, and incidentally on exactly the same hook bait, that little sort of 12mm diamond white soaked in buttercorn and wonderberry goo on the D-rig. But the funny thing is I've got 3 different hook baits out there. This has come on now 2 different spots, but the same bait. So I always say let the fish tell you what you need to have out there. Start with a bit of variety and then you hone in on the tactic that works in that session on that particular lake. Awesome, good start. I'll probably have an early night tonight, wind the rods in and go fresh tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Carp. That rig you could literally take anywhere on earth, and I promise you it will be as good a performing as anything you're ever likely to use. The humble fluorocarbon D-rig. Well, it ain't that humble, it's so good. I like to do sometimes, because we've been really busy doing non-fishing focused stuff, so the whole idea of showing you how to fish from one swim hasn't really played out. So I'm going to try to pick the pace up again. So we're going to go back to the middle area of the area. I've tried a couple of spots really, explored tree line, so I'm going to go back to fishing all 3 rods on one spot, and hopefully we can snare a carp quite quickly. Or maybe I'll fish 2 rods on one spot and fish 1 rod over to the far marge on. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Look here, this is a spot I've got marked. That's actually where I've had the fish in that area. So I'm going to use that. If you think that, let's call that the middle rod. So what I do is I work up to it. Look, see these fish markings? That's fish. That's what they are, I couldn't tell you. So even though I'm putting the bait out with a bait boat, I'm going to try to put them all close together, because it's like putting out like 2 or 3 spods worth over 1 rod. So it's not loads of bait, but it's enough to get a bite. But if you keep putting the bait there with the bait boat, you're going to get like a nice carpet going down. Even though fish are going to break it down, it's going to get spread, you're going to get some residue left. So that's that. So the back lead's going on to stay away from, I suppose, other anglers. If they have a fish and it kites, it's not, well, you know, it will help getting the line out of the way of the fish, but ultimately it's to keep myself out of the way. It shows that, oh, is that a carp or a bream? I'm saying bream. Very breamy. Gabby's got the other rod. This is not good. Oh no. I seem to have discovered. This is not good, ladies and gents. We've got full-scale bream carnage out there. They seem to like them pop-ups. They seem to be getting nailed on pop-ups. I've got my nice new gilet on. I'm not gonna probably get this out for a photo. Everyone knows I love photos with bream, but on this occasion I'm gonna resist and just let it go. Lovely. Oh. Process of elimination. I'm eliminating some things. So I've taken the worms, the dead maggots out, and the soil, and I've now gone with, and the pellet. Now we've got boilies, hemp and corn. And then if you get breamed on that rod again, I'll then take the corn out, and then I'll be left with just boilies and hemp, and then I'll take the hemp out, and if I still catch bream, I'll just take the rod out. Oh, that's a full bite. Oh, it's a carp, I reckon, maybe. You never know. No. Is it a carp? Nah. Tench, I reckon. No, that's definitely a carp. That's definitely a carp. And that is on another prototype. Where have you gone, cameraman? You're there. That's one of my first ever fish. No, that is my first ever fish on a prototype. One more cast in conjunction with Enterprise plastic hook bait that takes a little bit of pace that I showed you earlier. That's nice. It's nice, isn't it? Well, similar time to yesterday, sort of that on the cusp of early evening, and the rod has slowly picked up. And these fish apparently, I mean, I haven't fished this lake hardly at all. I think a few hours before this trip. And you know, you can tell they're old, they're wily, they've seen a few rigs. You know, the lodges are cosy and comfortable, and they're popular, and that's the reason, because there's fishing to be had, but when there's anglers, there's pressure, and the fish do get adjusted to it. So, you know, you have to keep sort of adjusting, repositioning the rods, get the flow of bait going in. You know, if you've not had a bite for a while, generally it's a good thing to redo the rods, because there's a chance that the bait's been ransacked, and it's time to freshen up. And there you go. Run out of 10mm cell, so we're now using 10mm essential cell, which is for springtime. Woohoo! What a bait. Actually, cold water, unbelievable. Should have used it all the time, to be honest. You've got the colour, you've got that powder that gives you that fizzy smell that's built into the base mix, like a powdered palatant. So actually, when you fish into mud and sediment, it's really, really good bait. We're going for broke today, so just worms straight in, just to get the party started. Goes quite a long way, you know. Kilo of the dendrobinas from Willie's, you can get, when you're just using a few handfuls in a hopper. If I was spodding and I was baiting constantly, which would be also a good method if you were, I suppose, fishing more aggressively, but I'm trying to fish like I was like hot on holiday. Full of hemp. Put it in like salt BAE. Bit of isosweet. That's it. So excuse the sound, but yeah, we managed to bolt that away from them trees quite quickly. Bit of hit and hold. This was on the spinner pop-up rig, exactly pretty much as you're going to get in our all-in-one rig Meta Ready Rigs range. So the whole lot will be all-in-one, leader, the hook link, the whole shenanigans. So all you've got to do is add on a hook bait and a weight. What is it? Is it is it a tench? It's a tench. Is it a tench? I'm doing that whole thing again, aren't I? No, this is definitely it. Is it a tench? Oh no, it's a tiny carp. Oh, where are you going? Come on. Oh, we nicked that one. Spinner rig action sometimes is such an effective setup. It's just got him under the mouth rather than actually over the top, but he went for it and he couldn't get away from it. There you go, couple of minutes in the right place. Don't need to fish at night, do you? When you can just pop them out and get a bite straight away. Yeah. Well, there we go. Another Wood Lakes common. I've only fished half a day on the first day, a full day yesterday, and literally an hour in the morning. And you know, we've had 4 carp. We've enjoyed ourselves at the same time. Got lots of work done, and the methods have worked brilliantly. It's a nice fish, that. We were just filming instructional content for the terminal tackle launch. Just when you didn't want one, one did come along. This is on the open water rod. So the white hook bait does the business again. And it's probably, I'd say, the biggest fish of the trip. Won't say how big. I don't think it's going to go 20 pound, but it's got a bit of ghost in it. Can't tell. That concoction of bait does get them going quickly. It gets you quick bites. You will get nuisance fish. You will get them types of things happening. But you know, if it lands in front of a carp or carper in the area, with the worms, those little crumb boilies, it just gets action going, you know, rather than just fishing boilies. Yeah, you get quicker bites as we've shown. So I better get back. I need to go and do some work, you know. Can't keep catching carp, even though it is fun to do. They've turned on the feed. Get out of the snags, walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back. Don't pump, don't pump, don't pump. Just keep walking until you're in your lodge. Don't pump. It's away from the snags. Hard bit out of the way. We're going to end up with 2 at once here. Catching on everything, good conditions now, bit of cloud cover, nice breeze, carp catching weather. This one was off the far margin, tight to those trees. Bit slower, bit heavier this one I think, I don't know. Not going to be breaking any records, but you're going to have a lot of fun when you come to these types of lakes. Good. Also, I think they're fantastic for bridging the gap for newcomers. Families can come down, you know, maybe one of you's an angler, the other's not. Oh, we're going around the trees here. Oh, bit of triage. Just tip under the water. Tip under the water, bring it back round. There we go. Lovely when it plays out. Oh, it's a mirror. Oh, one of the old mirrors. That's what we wanted. But like I say, it's the perfect place. Like, you know, if you're a carp angler, your family's not quite got into it with you, and you'd like to find that bridge between fishing in a bivvy and getting your family to come out. Well, this is the type of bridge you want. Come out, catch lovely carp like that, give them an insight into why you love it so much, while they have the comfort of a lodge, and maybe next time, maybe just next time, they'll come and sit in a bivvy with you and you'll have a camping session. But I think these venues are fantastic, you know. Covered in leeches, mate, aren't you? Don't flap though, and argillus. So I'm helping you so you don't have to go and jump out 478 times to get it all off you. Yeah, just got to be careful. But yeah, they've been asleep, they're just waking up. Spring is in the air and we have sprung into action. I've had a costume change because I didn't want to get covered. My gilet, my lovely gilet, getting dirty. So I've got the lightweight jacket on to enjoy catching this beautiful common. This was the first in a little quick double take almost. Got one in the net and the other rod's gone. But look at that, a beautiful common. I thought it might have a bit of ghosty in it, but I don't think it has. Either way, lovely and plump. And it got the old juices flowing. Well, this is definitely going to be the last fish because we ain't putting the rods back out. A frantic morning, capped with a cabin lake mirror. They're quite rare in here, mainly commons, so it's really, really nice to catch one of these. They're old, they're wily, but we've had a right old good time, and this is the perfect way to end. A lovely fish. Look at that, long, lean, mean, and you've just woken up, mate, haven't you? Here we go. Should get me swimming shorts on for these returners. See you, mate. Goodbye. And goodbye, Cabin Lakes. That was good. That was good. We done all right.